Hello and welcome to another Albion Online Dev Talk. Today I want to introduce you to the upcoming changes with Season 11. And there are quite a lot of cool new changes to look forward to. We're adding an all-new 20v20 Crystal League, while also rebalancing the impact of the Crystal League on the season win altogether. On top of that, we are also overhauling the world boss locations, turning them into more attractive open world fame farming hotspots. And we have also various changes in store to reduce the amount of players who need to wait in cluster queues and generally improve the ZVZ meta by quite a lot. So there's quite a lot changing in Season 11. And let's start with the new content first, the 20v20 Crystal League. This is a way for everyone to participate in fair and exciting 20v20 battles. And to participate, you simply buy a token at the energy manipulator and then use it to sign up for one of the 3 available time slots per day. The match itself plays similar to the 5v5 league, where both teams need to control and hold more orbs than the enemy team. And we created an entirely new map for the 20v20 league, which has a similar layout to the old city map. And like in the 5v5 league, the level 1 match will be knockdown only and serves as a perfect training ground for newcomers. And of course, there are also very competitive and very high stakes matches at the end of the season. So I'm really looking forward to lots of 20v20 matches and hope we see many new teams form up and enjoy this new unique gameplay style. And to make sure, though, that Crystal League won't dominate the entire season and undermine other activities, we are rebalancing the season point rewards. And on top of that, we are also introducing a limit for season points a guild can achieve via Crystal League. So this comes in form of a daily limit that is separate for 5v5 and 20v20 matches. And the limit depends on the amount of points available on that day. So on a regular day, the limit is much lower, while on high-level days, the limit is pretty high. This way we can keep the high-level matches very rewarding, while still making sure that the season can't be won solely by playing Crystal League matches alone. This will make for a more competitive and exciting season altogether. Another thing we want to improve in the next season is providing better objectives in the open world. So we are overhauling the open world areas into a constantly attractive high fame farming spot. For this, we changed the world bosses to now spawn every hour. And when the boss is defeated, every team member gets a buff, which increases PvE fame. And this buff is lost on death or when leaving the cluster. So this buff is meant as an additional incentive for groups to stand their ground and fight back whenever they meet an enemy group. Because if you retreat, you will lose this buff, so you have an extra incentive to stay longer. To turn this area into a fame farming hotspot, we also overhauled all the mobs in this area. They are now much stronger, but also way more rewarding. And they also respawn much faster, so groups can stay in this area for an extended time and keep fame farming. However, since these spots are quite limited in the world, chances are high you meet an enemy group who wants to get this fame for themselves, and this hopefully leads to lots of small and mid-sized open world fights. And for the large-scale guild battles in Season 11, we want to reduce the amount of battles where players have to wait in a smart cluster queue. First, we want to create incentives for large armies to split up and not send everyone to the same objective. To achieve this, we will synchronize all castles and castle outpost timers for all clusters in the game. This means that the treasure spawning and scoring happens now independent of the cluster prime time. Instead, all castles now score every 6 hours and all castle outposts now score every 3 hours. We also increased the distance of the castles to each other. We did this by removing various tunnels and cluster connections to make sure all castles are always at least 4 clusters away from each other. With these changes, we want to put pressure on big power blocks to split their forces if they want to contest more than one objective. This will hopefully lead to less overcrowded clusters and less smart cluster queue stuffed battles. But Even if they become less frequent, smart cluster queue fights will still happen. And the cluster queue was originally designed as a tool to sort out edge cases with too many players. However, battles involving a cluster queue have become more and more frequent, and the ZVZ battles now revolve a lot around the queue. This is especially frustrating for players who end up just waiting outside in the queue, where they might not even get a chance to participate in the fight at all. And to improve this, we will add a new feature that allows you to just skip overcrowded clusters. So in Season 11, when you are trying to enter an overcrowded cluster, you can now select any connected entrance and directly jump there. This means instead of waiting outside as a potential backup player, you can now jump directly to the enemy backup forces. This basically allows for 2 battles at the same time. One battle inside the overcrowded cluster, the main battle, and another battle outside between the players in the queue. With this change, we will increase the queue entrance radius, so those waiting to enter the fight can spread their forces and don't have to directly stay at the entrance. And in case you're wondering what is happening if 2 clusters in a row get overcrowded, well, in this case, you can also skip 2 clusters in a row and still jump to the enemy backline. And last but not least, for the start of Season 11, we'll also roll out a combat balance update with a new X ability, Rending Rage, a combo ability where you swing your blade in front of you, and on the 3rd activation, you can leap forward and root the enemy, giving X's an option for mobility and CC on their Q slot. And this patch also contains buffs for axes, spears, and arcane staffs, together with various adjustments to other abilities. So all in all, there are quite a lot of changes in Season 11. And I'm really excited to see how you will interact with all these new features. And hopefully we will see some fierce competition for the top spots in the season. So thanks a lot for your support of Albion Online, and see you in another Dev Talk.